Hi, welcome back. This is Matt from Personal Defense and Firearm Education. This is the first in the series of what I'm going to put into a general gunsmithing type of playlist. And the title on this is going to be, How Often Should You Clean Your Firearm? Well, here I have a Glock that's been field stripped. It went to the range with me last night. And as you can see, I put a few rounds through it. It's a little bit dirty, a little bit of powder residue there, a little bit of powder residue on the end of that recoil spring assembly. And if you look at the rest of it, like say the slide, now this really does not look to be in bad shape at all. The only thing is right here where this ramp's at and that plunger, you have some carbon fouling, a little bit of carbon buildup. And then you also have it right in there. Not too terribly bad though. And then obviously you have it right here at the front. When I look at the barrel, if you see right here, there's just a little hint. And then we see powder residue that's built up along there. Now this probably had about 50 rounds through it last night. Do you really need to clean it? No, but my general rule of thumb is clean them after every use. Now I know that a firearm like a Glock can go for a lot of rounds without really having to be cleaned. But the reason I do it is just simple mechanics and wear. Because when we shoot, what happens is we're using a mechanical device at its limits. The slide is coming back very forcefully. It's going back and forth, back and forth. Your recoil spring assembly is getting worked pretty hard. And you're sending a lot of rounds down the pipe. The more junk that you have that is built up, caked on, whether it be little tiny pieces of metal, whether it's copper, lead, what have you, they begin to build up, they begin to bind, and eventually it creates kind of a slurry where, it just begins to wear a little bit. And the more wear you get, the looser your tolerances become. The more this might rock, wiggle side to side. You might notice a stiffness that develops when you go to rack the slide back and bring it back forward, especially if you just ride it forward. So what would I do with this? I'm going to clean this here, just to get rid of that, and then I'm going to go ahead and clean the barrel. And otherwise, just use a toothbrush, knock off a little bit of residue there. Am I going to do a complete detail strip of this firearm? Absolutely not. I don't think that it's necessary. But I do think that it's a good practice every time you go to the range to go ahead and clean your firearm, because you don't really know how long that thing's going to be sitting. Are you going to go back to the range in a couple of days? Are you going to go back to the range in a week or two? Or is the firearm going to sit for a year or more and not be cleaned? So it's a lot easier to get this residue off with frequent cleanings, and you're not going to hurt it by doing that. So anyway, that's my 2 cents worth, and until next time, have a good one.